Everybody can hear? Need it up. You need it up louder? Is that better? Is that? I'm right on it. Okay, you can hear that. You know, there are not many of us who will come out on a night like this, let alone come out simply because we believe in something so strongly that we believe that there ought to be a showing of where our hearts truly lie. The death of Tyre Nichols was uncalled for. I believe there are people inside this building that would say that it was uncalled for. The sad part is that there have been a few, but to us way too many, deaths that have been caused by true brute force. How that changes, I am not here to say. I am not an expert on that. But I am here to say that when we treat one another with some semblance of kindness, or at least a modicum of respect, we usually get respect back. And that is what has been missing for millennia, true millennia. But then, at the same time, even though that may be true, there is always a starting point. There is always a point that we can begin and say, okay, so we've done it this way before. We can start anew, and we can start to do things differently. That would be truly my prayer for how we look at enforcement, is to treat one another with respect and to try to get to some place where we are not endangering lives, but we are helping lives, helping particularly young people live and helping people thrive, no matter what the age might be. Believe me, the older you get, the more you'll understand that. So just bear with me on that. I think that for tonight, I usually don't pray in public because there are so many varied traditions from which people come. But I do think it's about love, loving your neighbor, caring for your neighbor. You don't have to call it love. I do, because I really think that's the epitome of how we ought to be with one another. That we should care enough to feed our neighbor if we know that that neighbor needs a meal. That we should be aware of what's going on around us. That we should be aware of what's going on in our schools. We should be aware of what's going on inside here. We should be aware of what's going on in our hospitals, in our schools. We should be aware. And so many of us just think someone else is going to do it. I don't know how many of you have school children. What's going on in your classrooms? Do you really know? Do you really know what's going on at the school board meetings? I am appalled that our children are not supposed to learn. I'm not saying right here in Illinois, and I'm not saying right here in Peoria, but in areas around the country, and I'm terrified it's going to spread, that our children will not learn what truly has happened in this country as far as American history has been over the last 150 years. Wait a minute, I'm Canadian. No, 200 years, okay?
Bloody oppression.
Pardon me?
Bloody oppression.
It is. It's been oppression
Bloody
all
oppression.
along. It's never not been oppression. But to say that these people didn't exist, these people don't exist, or these people shouldn't exist, we have got a real problem on our hands, friends. And thank you for being here tonight, because it is all about, I don't think there's one of you here that would be here if you didn't care. Please care. Please care about the Vincents. Please care about the Nichols. Please care about every single person in your life. You know, when I do pray, and I will tell you this, I always pray about the people who have touched my life. I couldn't begin to name them all, but I'm blessed because I do know people, and I know people who are hurting right now, and I know people that have been abused and hurt and oppressed. I have been as well. And that's because I am a, non-conforming, same-gender loving woman, okay? And people don't like that. People are afraid of that. I am a very nice person, those people who know me. But hey, doesn't get you far, because people are afraid of what that means. My skin tone is fine anywhere I go. But not everyone's is. Come on, let's get over it. Let's realize that our red and yellow, black and white, brown people are just the same as me. Well, no, not just the same as me, but just the same as you and me. Let us love one another, and I mean that with my whole heart. And let us stop and take a breather before we open our mouths and get ourselves in trouble over things that we ought not say. But let us speak up when we must speak up to right the wrongs that have been perpetrated on our fellow human beings, whether it's here at this corner or whether it's in the restaurant or whether it's, like I said, at the hospital, the drugstore, the school. And there's a way to do that that won't get you in trouble. Always remember that. There is a way to do that that won't get you in trouble. Always take the high road, please. I don't want to come visit you. I will. But I don't want to come visit you in the hospital or in jail. But I will. I've been there. I've been to the prisons. I really don't know what else to say. But if we could have just one moment of, I'm going to call it downtime, silence, and I will speak a few words there. Whatever and however you meditate, pray, whatever you want to call it, let's do so now. Creator of us all. You created us all and you called us all good. Whoever and however your creation came to be, you brought us into being so that we would care for the earth and care for the creatures upon the earth and care for one another. Oh, we have failed you. We have failed you so miserably. But as we stand here tonight, at least the group gathered here makes a pledge to begin to care for everyone, and to care for everyone in a way that will bring a healing and a peace to at least this corner of Peoria, and as we go from here to the vast places we live within Peoria, be with us, give us the strength, and give us the courage, please, to be who you have called us to be, and that is to be the ones to right the wrongs and to make the place for all of your children in this world. Aho and aho. That means amen.